Chapter 4, Grey Gifts. At its core, the underlying power that James co-opted when playing the game of mates in property and transportation was the discretion of the politicians and the bureaucrats to make rezoning decisions and determine the content of infrastructure contracts. James's wealth in those sectors came from these discretionary decisions over the allocation of things that have large private value but are not priced. They are grey gifts, and they are the currency of grey corruption. In a world with clearly defined rules and no political and bureaucratic discretion, there are no grey gifts. The game is thus about wiggle room. The reality is that politicians and top bureaucrats regularly make decisions that have private winners and losers, decisions that can make millionaires out of some and paupers of others. Their power comes from being able to choose who gets the massive economic value of their grey gifts, all the while not having to bear any personal costs. Instead, Sam bears the costs. A grey gift is a property right that initially belonged to the public as a whole that is given to a particular private parties without fair payment. The decision to allocate a grey gift to particular people rather than to the public as a whole is then invariably an abuse of power entrusted into politicians and bureaucrats who are supposed to represent everyone equally. Only when the benefits of grey gifts are equally available to everybody, or those who get the grey gift are forced to pay a fair price for it, is there no implicit theft of Sam by James. Only then is the political power applied in a neutral manner, that is, without favouritism. The problem is particularly large if there are frequent decisions that are not well observed by the electorate. Complex, hard-to-read regulatory environments require politicians and top bureaucrats to rely on their judgment and discretion to interpret and enforce the rules. Which way they err can make millions of dollars of difference to the people and the companies operating under those rules. In a sense, they control an economic honeypot. And where there is honey, you attract flies. James and his ilk swarm about to get a taste of the millions of dollars on offer from the grey gifts. In property, the gift is the right to use land differently. Who gets that property right is decided with a great deal of discretion in the political and bureaucratic system. But outside of that system, the property right has a market value. In infrastructure, the tax receipts of current... I hope you've enjoyed this sample from the audiobook Rigged. To hear the full book, please subscribe to Fresh Economic Thinking.